Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Warhammer 40K Boltgun. One of the rare games that doesn't have the name up in the main menu over here. Warhammer 40K Boltgun is, well, let's start off with this, one of the most well-liked and most positively rated Warhammer 40K games on Steam. Oh yes, it's right up there with Space Marine. It's really doing well. Obviously, it's not a huge game, it's a retro FPS style shooter, but for what it does and for what it is, it's awesome. I mean, it oozes with style, with just raw awesomeness. The gameplay is great, and we're going to get into that in just a bit. First, let me take you through the options menu. You get your standard crosshair controls, gamepad, video. Gameplay this on gamepad. Obviously, we're going to do mouse and keyboard because it's a retro style game. Resolution and everything, and then you have the retro options where you can tweak just how much pixelization you want and just how much of a retro palette you want, with this, okay, being a little bit, too much, but let's say here's the normal one. I'm going to turn these all the way down to have the game look a little bit more, well, modern, I suppose. And then I'm going to switch it back to around 50 and 100 on the settings to see how it all looks like. So, here we go. Let's go with hard, because I don't know how hard the game is, but we're going to go with hard difficulty, and this will be my first impressions. I'm going into the game blind, although I did see gameplay of it.
Once touched by the hand of chaos remains untainted. You are under the dominion of the Ordo Malleus to assist my investigations into a world that has already felt that fell influence. Graia has been under the close watch of the Inquisition since the Grim Skull War. The Forge world remains largely secure, but we have picked up concerning energy readings in the surrounding system. I have my suspicions, although we have not had sufficient time to pinpoint the origin of these foul energies. While most of the planet remains unaffected, it is my belief that rogue elements within the Adeptus Mechanicus may have been experimenting with a surviving fragment of Inquisitor Drogon's power source. Your mission is to assist me in locating a fragment of the power source.
Okay.
While I consider this threat extremely serious, your superiors have seen fit to second only a handful of you to my supervision. In the absence of a larger force, we should pray to the Emperor that this does not develop into a more dire...
Inquisitor Drogon, that's the guy from Space Marine, the game I mentioned.
Servo skull will guide you.
Oh, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this servo skull. Okay.
Sanctified and preserved from the purging of Drogon's heretical archives. Together, you will search sites where communication has become sporadic. Should you encounter any opposition, you may assume they have been tainted by the ruler's powers.
Naturally.
Not the heretic to live. While I continue my investigations aboard the Crown, you will be deployed to a habitation zone we lost contact with several cycles ago. You should assume the situation to be extremely hostile.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Well, we do not know how far the taint of the arch-enemy spreads.
Or in this case, I suppose it will be more like slash and smite until it is done. I do love the sort of simplified cartoony art style. For the cutscenes, that is. Okay. Every weapon is affected differently by the machine spirit. Off target. Your deployment to Graia didn't go quite as planned. No matter. Secure armament, bolster your faith, and continue. Alright, here we go. Right, so it is 2D, the enemies, so this is kind of like a Doom style game. Reminds me of the original Doom. Okay. There's my medkit. And there's more of my medkit related stuff. Okay, so I have a chainsword. I do not have a gun. Right, vertical movement, space. No double jump, only single, but given the, well, ridiculous nature of the armor we're wearing, it's not a surprise. Okay, so I can break that. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, obviously spacebar to jump. Now let's see, I do really like the fact that time sort of slows down as you're doing the thing. You know, doing the thing. The murdering. The righteous slaughter, of course. Medicae identified. Yeah, I love that we're keeping it in lore that it's not health pack, it's a Medicae. Okay, it's good, it's just not very useful right now. I was kind of hoping to, A, maybe find a secret, B, maybe find a gun, and alternatively both sort of at the same time, but I guess not. Okay, let's jump across, and assuming I press this to continue. Hello, heretic! Of course, I cannot pick up the weapons of the heretics. They have been tainted by the touch of chaos. It would be ridiculous for me to even assume that I could procure such a weapon. I can boost, that's... Oh. Oh, it's not just boost, it's the fun kind of boost that you see in 40k. Where, you know, this isn't just an armor, this is a walking tank. Several tons worth of walking tank, in fact. And when it starts sprinting and heading towards you, it's remarkably difficult to stop. And you know, it impacting with you will most likely have the same result as a fully loaded semi-truck impacting with you. Possibly even worse. Right. Of course. Can't break any of the boxes. Okay, at least there's not going to be any problems of that nature, I suppose. Oh, I thought I could... Yeah, okay. I realized I had to boost, but I thought I could do it, like... Okay, am I just being stupid, or is this... No, you hold shift to sprint. In fact, I am, in fact, being a little bit stupid. Okay, apparently, taking the heretic's ammo is fine. Is there a control to enable sprinting automatically at all times? Dead zones and acceleration zones. No, not really my thing, sorry. Gamepad sensitivity. I mean, I saw key bindings, but... No, shift has to be done, or running has to be done manually. Okay, that's fine. Let's go. The holy boltgun of legend. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The titular boltgun, even. Okay, there's a bunch of ammo here. Might as well test it out. Guys, it shoots like a bolt gun. It's... I'll be brutally honest with you, I like the melee weapons a little bit more than the bolt gun, which, given the fact that this is 40k, just makes all of the sense, really. Yep, it is one of the most accurate renditions of a bolt gun in any 40k game. Oh god, I didn't see them coming from the other end. Okay, not gonna lie, this is bloody awesome. Okay, this is beyond just a good 40k game, this is proper high quality stuff. It reminds me oddly a little bit of Dusk, in that Dusk was... oh. Well, there's probably a secret out there on the left that I didn't get to see, or didn't get to find, but it's okay. I did get 100% of the kills. Gotta say, on hard difficulty, the tutorial, okay, it's still the tutorial, I'm not gonna say anything. Seemed a little bit easy, in that I didn't have to really move around too much and search around too much for extra resources and stuff. So it just gets the job done, all of this. Okay. I understand perfectly where I need to go, it's just that I like looking around for secrets. One of which I may have found here, no? No, maybe not. Oh, you can scale like that as well. Oh, that is cool. Okay, tell you what, before we continue, let's go over to the retro settings and make the retro palette 100 and the pixelation... let's put it at 75, because I feel like more would be a little bit much. Okay, did I actually apply those settings? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, I feel like more pixelation would be a little bit... not great, let's just say. Okay, so I have noticed one slight issue with the game, and that is, well, it has a weird frame rate drop at times. So I'm running this at 144 frames right now, and it drops ever so slightly when I scale, and I reckon that's something related to the engine or the animations or something. Because the frame rate of the whole game drops to 110, but it's not that noticeable. What is noticeable, though, is the sudden sort of... how do I put this? Like, there's a sudden dip in mobility and the fluidity of movement. See, for example, I'm running around like this, I'm moving, and it's silky smooth. It reminds me of the old sort of retro FPS games, everything's perfect. And then I jump and I scale something and there's like this, I don't know, all of a sudden it turns into this stuttery movement, which isn't ideal. But that's like the only nitpicky thing I can find about this game. I like the, honestly, I like the pixely art style. I don't like it that much though. There's something to be said about just the game looking as clean as possible, too, but I reckon if you're really nostalgic about Doom and Quake, although Quake did have 3D enemies, so this is more sort of the Wolfenstein 3D and Doom era. Blood maybe as well, there's a little bit of that. You might like the other options a little bit more. I realize I have grenades as well, and I'm not really using them. Let's change that. Ooh, there's a nice little area of effect around the grenade when you use it. So you can get out of the way, I guess, the agitators in the helmet or whatever. There's some lore explanation for that we can come up with, I'm pretty sure. Juggernaut computers in this game are literally the sizes of cathedrals. I doubt you can fit one in your helmet. Look. Wouldn't be the worst change in lore history. For those, look to Games Workshop. Well, it's not it's not entirely fair. I don't dislike their changes as much as what I feel like most of the 40k community dislikes them, but either way, this is a 40k game first and foremost. However, I tend to feel drawn to talk about this game primarily as an FPS. By the way, I'm sorry if you suffer from motion sickness. I'm trying to keep the camera as smooth, as stable, and as smooth and as stable as I can, without doing. I apologize in advance. You might want to look away without doing this too much, because I know some people are really affected by that. So I'm trying to minimize that kind of movement. But at the same time, it's a little bit difficult given. That was a crack grenade, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an anti-armor crack grenade that I just threw. I realized I had two different types. Yeah, there was a drop right here as well. I swear to God, I can feel it. I'm not insane. You're probably not going to be able to see it on YouTube because, first of all, the recording's capped at 60. Second of all, it's YouTube. The conversion rate is kind of horrible. But like, so from here, crossing this into here drops the frame rate down to 90. And I swear to God, I can feel these, like, stutters. There's, like, micro stutters in the game. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's something to do with my system, but I really doubt it for a game like this that I would have such an issue. Okay, that guy was tough. It's a Chaos Space Marine. The fact that I've killed him is somewhat remarkable already, but I like how there's different types of cultist and fleshy enemies, and the boltgun just melts through all of them. I think that was a guardsman or something. Not a corrupted one, obviously, but you just melt through him. On the other hand, Chaos Space Marines, not so easy to get rid of. Okay, I'm a little bit lost. I'm 99% sure I've missed, like, 3 or 4 different secrets that I've seen. Matter of fact, I haven't found one yet, so I don't quite know how they're hidden and what exactly I'm looking for when it comes to secrets, but I gotta admit, you have to try this out. It's not gonna make much sense when I say it out loud, but this bolt gun is one of the most satisfying weapons I've used in a computer game ever, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be like, because I mean, I think I've talked about this in 15 different videos, but I'm going to do it again, so I apologize if you've heard me rant on about this before. The way a bolt gun works is it's not an SMG, heavens no, how it's often portrayed. It's not an assault rifle, how it's, I think, more often portrayed as well. Heavens no. No. A bolt gun is none of those things. The bolt gun, the closest, thing that we have that's similar to a bolt gun is... that was one heck of a throw. Completely wasted, unfortunately, but... the closest thing we have to a bolt gun is a bazooka. Oh yes, a bolt gun is closer to a bazooka than an assault rifle. Because you see, what it launches is mini rockets, which are self-propelled. Yeah, it doesn't launch rockets, the rockets just have propulsion of their own. and they fly towards the target and explode. Yes, they're mini rockets, they're not exactly, 150mm shells, but at the same time they're rockets. Their primary objective is to, well, explode at the enemy. And, boy do they do that, as you can see. So, how do I put this? Oh, secret discovered. Aura of Doom and Mega Damage. Unfortunately for me, I've discovered the secret after getting rid of most of the enemies, I feel like. So this Aura of Doom is gonna somewhat go to waste. Oh, and I've discovered a second secret, which is or something else altogether. Very well. I feel like I will need to ramp up the difficulty level, because this... Look at this, I mean, full ammo, full health and everything, and I'm discovering secrets that I don't need. So, yeah, okay, I suppose I'll need grenades, because I'm using those, but only because they're fun. And on G I can switch. I like the UI too, you just... you click, it's just right there, like everything's on the screen, everything you need is right here for you to just click through. I appreciate that a fair bit. Very good. There's a bit of a spike there as well, there's like a stutter. Yeah. Okay, I'll look into my system, maybe it's just my processor or something. I'll really have to look into it. I doubt it, but like I said, munitions boon, lock and load. Yeah, fair enough. And yes, I have noticed that the armor is called Contempt. That's not gonna lie, both funny and cool at the same time. I wonder if I... Yeah, see, they're immune to that because they have power armor. You can run into the fleshier enemies and it will just kill them, like with this. It'll just straight up murder them, but some of the tougher guys, like the Chaos Space Marines, it doesn't do that. So the game does a phenomenal job of following the lore, honestly, and really portraying stuff the way it should be. Both the armor and everything. I do feel like I'm a little bit too mobile for the kind of armor I'm using, but let it go at this point. Yeah, just let it go. It's a retro FPS style game. It doesn't need to slow you down. We have way too many FPS games that are just painfully slow nowadays, and for those of us that grew up on Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and Quake and games like that, we love seeing at least a little bit of a change. Okay, so I'm not being as tactical anymore, and I've lost a fair bit of my armor, so maybe don't complain about the difficulty just yet. Okay, that exploded right on time to get rid of that guy. Hello. I don't think there's any secret walls or anything like that, at least not that I've found thus far, which is, well, on the one hand kind of refreshing, because that means I don't have to look out for them and I can just enjoy the pure mayhem, murder and chaos that I'm causing. Oh. Shite. Oh, it just teleports you back here. There's not a glorious, you died, or a overdramatic you died screen. Though it does take it off a little bit of your health. Fair enough. Just had to check that. There's, I guess, technically the first death, although I don't think it really counts as a death. Either way, though, there it is. Can't pick that up. I think that's max ammo or something. Health. Probably health because I don't have max ammo. Oh, either way, let's keep going. I think this way, right? Oh, what are those? Plague toads. Oh, we have some Nurgle fuckery going on. Pardon the language, but it is fairly late in the video. I feel like I can get away with it. I have contempt. Lying around, as good as another plague toad. They are tough. Understandably so. They are creatures of Nurgle. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they are very tough. Okay, hello. I expected to fight just regular Chaos Cultists and maybe something of Crone that's just like a Marine or a Cultist except a little bit tougher, but no, we're getting bombarded with Nurgle nonsense already, so I mean, huge props for enemy variety. Secret discovered. Found Kraken Boltgun magazine. Huh. So finding secrets is not just you know, completionist kind of thing. Also upgrades your weapons. So this is now oh, hello. So now my gun is a little bit more potent, which will be extremely useful when dealing with the plague toads of death. Unfortunately, it doesn't last forever. It's just a temporary buff to the... Ouch. Once they went out of the thing to do the thing. Gotta say though, I do love how they throw grenades at me. Using my own, giving me a taste of my own medicine, I suppose. One of the more useful grenades of this video, right there. For the record. Hey, don't throw grenades at me. Oh, lovely. Not so lovely, because I just stood there and took it. Have the Reporter in view. May the light of the Emperor guide you. Well, I mean, here's hoping, right? I like that you get the health of the enemy. I really like that, even though I know I said that already, but just for the record. Yeah, the accuracy of the Boltgun is fascinating at even some relatively ridiculous ranges. We still are able to hit very reliably. Turn into a bit of a sniper. Melee has fallen out of favour a little bit, honestly. I prefer to keep my enemies at range in general, but it is still incredibly fun. I reckon it's going to be... I'm a bit afraid to test it out, because it is on a high difficulty, and I don't want to waste any more health experimenting, but what the hell. I reckon that probably an easier way to deal with the Chaos Space Marines is to melee them to death. Because that's generally the case in Warhammer 40,000, that a lot of the times... Is that the end of the level? I don't want to end the level just yet. There's stuff up here. Oops. Can I not go back up? Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, okay, that's better. I like that. I'll take the... I'll sacrifice the health just to go back up here and try and pick some of the stuff up. See if there's a secret or anything. Yeah, gates blocked, alternative path required, fine. Well, If for nothing else than just to kill that last guy. Fine. There we go. Let's see how poorly I did. 95% of the kills. I think I got like 3 or 4 secrets. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that'll be enough. I've shown you the first 2 levels. I think you saw plenty. I'm just going to start the other one and wrap the video up. Visually, I really like the game, but I'm a bit of a sucker for those, whatchamacallit, the sort of Doom and Quake-style games and visuals and all of that, but if you want a more contemporary analysis and more contemporary comparison, sorry, I guess Dusk really fits the bill, both in terms of the quality and how fun the gameplay is, and, well, just everything else, really. Dusk really was a perfect retro FPS game, and this game seems kind of like that in the levels of fun and enjoyment, but yet very different in the enemies, the weapons, and just pretty much everything else. So yeah, it's like a different Dusk. Kind of hard to explain it any other way. I know there's a couple of other really good retro FPS games that came out after Dusk. In fact, one of them, voxel-based one, I covered on the channel, although for the life of me right now I can't remember the name. In fact, let's not be lazy, I'm going to check it out, give me a second. I found it. It was called Cultic. I even played it semi-recently, like a couple of months ago, so yeah. There you go. It's kind of reminds me of that. Obviously, it's not voxel-based, but still, it's a phenomenal game. I fully recommend it, and I can see why it's aiming to be one of the most well-received and most positively reviewed 40k games on Steam. It definitely earns the title. It's a phenomenal FPS shooter. If you want a more in-depth and detailed look at this game, you should probably wait for Civvy to make a video on it. Shout out to him, and by the way, it's the go-to man for retro FPS titles. But until he makes a full proper review of the entire game, I think my first impressions will do. You've seen the basics, and you can go out and play it for yourselves. The game's just bloody amazing, right? It is just absolutely bloody amazing. Though I would love to have showed you a few more weapons. I bet there's a shotgun running along somewhere in the vicinity, and given how much ammo I've collected for the shotgun, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a secret that I missed. It might be, but I reckon we could get a regular shotgun by a sort of more streamlined main path means soon. Though I do love how many different enemies the game throws at you. Cannot overstate this. And I do love how it's not afraid to give you power to just mow all of them down. Yeah, sure, Chaos Space Marines and cultists and all that, and it's just mow them all down. Does not matter in the slightest. There we go, look at that. I mean, just... good God, this is just so much fun. And speaking of weapons, right on cue, just as the Boltgun was getting a little bit, I don't want to say tiresome, but a little bit samey, let's switch to something else. Beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Just beautiful. I will say, I saw initially the game did like a slow-mo thing. Maybe do that a little bit more often. When you melee enemies, for example, or something. Maybe that'd be a little bit cool. But I don't know. Right, it's awesome. The game's bloody awesome. I have nothing else to show you, nothing else to tell you. Go and pick it up. There'll be a link in the description down below to the Steam page of it. Check out what others are saying in the reviews. It's just bloody awesome. I will turn off the retro stuff though. So pixelization there, and retro palette there. Kind of prefer it like this, although now when you play it like this, the gun is a little bit more pixelated than the environment, so there's kind of almost a mismatch, I guess, in that way. Oh, I've picked up 300 armor. Good. Good. I do love that when you land, the ground shakes as well. I mean, so many nice little fun details. This just brings a smile to my face. Honestly, I've been doing the entire video with a huge, idiotic grin on my face. And, yeah, it's lovely to see games like this come out. It just shows you that the developers really cared about a lot of this stuff, and it wasn't just mass-produced and pumped out to make some money. There's actual thought and care put behind this game, and you can tell. So yeah, anyways, my name is Juggernaut. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed. Want to stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel. Until next time, have fun, take care, and go play this game. Although, I will say, if it's not my system that's causing these stutters, please get rid of them. They're mighty annoying, and for a pixely game like this, they really have no place on a modern system. Could be that I'm running an AMD card. Tend to by default blame AMD in situations like these, but maybe that's just me from 10 years ago. Still not adjusting to the fact that AMD is now actually good, and that I should be really happy with my purchase, and I am, with the graphics card, obviously. Something I've talked about on the channel a couple of times, but anywho. Let's wrap things up right there. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.